Hey guys, welcome to the video. This video, I'll kick him. This video is my 1 year of jiu-jitsu summary. What I've learned, what did I enjoy? You guys know me as having a background in gymnastics, strength training, and Olympic weightlifting. But the channel is kind of about functional training, things that make your body better at doing things. And every now and then, even though those things are my foundation, I'll branch out. You can check out my videos on yoga, wrestling, rock climbing. Today we're doing jiu-jitsu. Now, in general, why do I want to know how to do jiu-jitsu? Well, basically I want to know how to defend myself. So if I have the strength, the flexibility, but don't know how to apply it to defend myself, it kind of seems like a what's the point kind of thing. I need to know how to control other people if it comes down to it. And that's why I chose to start jiu-jitsu. So what did I specifically do? I started doing just no gi. Several months into my training, I realized that the gi is actually very practical in terms of the gi with its collars can act like a jacket. The pants can act like jeans or other pants. So it then became applicable because people don't walk around naked, at least not where I'm from. I'll train 1 to 3 sessions a week, and the sessions just in total will go between 1 to 4 hours. A class is usually, well, always, is a warm-up, which goes about 10 minutes. Skill work, which goes about 45 minutes, where you're shown a skill. You go away and practice it with your partner. Then you come back, you're shown another skill or an addition to what you were just learning. Go away with your partner. And then it concludes with about 15 to 20 minutes of rolling, which in jiu-jitsu is the boxing equivalent of sparring. So you're essentially just grappling with the other person, ground grappling, trying to incorporate your skills. It's called rolling. I spent this first year learning, not even thinking about leveling up to another belt. I have a lifetime goal to become a black belt in a martial art, and this will probably be that martial art, but there's absolutely no rush. This is a lifetime, long-term thing that I am aiming to do now for the rest of my life. This year I might consider going up to blue belt, and this year I might consider competition. But what is priority is learning and getting better so that I'm efficient and equipped to defend myself. Okay, so I've started jiu-jitsu. I've been doing it 1 year, and these are my thoughts if you're considering it. Jiu-jitsu is extremely cerebral. It's one of the most, it's the sport I've had to think the most about whilst doing. There's so many different dots, different pieces of the puzzle to connect. You will feel silly in jiu-jitsu. You won't understand what's going on. You'll be shown a technique, 1, 2, 3, let's break. I have no idea what the I'm doing. That's normal. I still have that now, a year later, and I'm sure I'll continue to have it for many years to come. Ride it out, stick with it, understand that everyone else beginning jiu-jitsu feels that way as well. We're all just figuring it out as we go, and it won't leave you, but every session you attend, every class you do, you'll get better and better. One thing I was really interested in with jiu-jitsu was how my prior training would come in and benefit me in jiu-jitsu. And I found it benefited me a lot. So compared to every other white belt, I thought I was more flexible, I thought I was stronger, I thought I had better proprioception and at times better aerial awareness, and it gave me a massive advantage. Despite all of that, those physical advantages, whenever I went up against someone that had some experience in jiu-jitsu, they were either able to render my physicality useless or use it against me. Sometimes it had its advantages, but that was usually against other white belts. The major thing I learnt over this last year, specifically to jiu-jitsu, is I was initially focused on explosiveness and attack, and getting submissions, which seems quite ironic because I'm starting. I don't really know any submissions, but I'm thinking just go, like, use your strength, use whatever you can and try and get an arm bar or a choke. Just keep going for it. And what that ended up resulting in was someone who knew what they were doing, who's better than me at jiu-jitsu, used it against me, and I became exhausted. And through exploding, I created opportunities for them to get me. So it was to their advantage that I'm trying to use all my effort to get at them. And what that resulted in over the course of the year was changing my perspective. Instead of being explosive or aggressive and looking for submissions, I'm now more calculated, calmer, more patient, and I'm working for positions. Lastly is always, this one is so important, I feel, and I don't feel enough people do it, is always be seeking feedback. Always be asking, and use that feedback to improve for the next session, but even as soon as your next roll. It's such a great investment to be making sure you're asking questions as you go, because I think compared to someone that didn't ask questions, the two people's progress as the year goes on, I think the person asking questions learns so much more. So ask questions. So on my YouTube community tab and on my Instagram, I told you guys I was making this video about my 1 year of jiu-jitsu training and to ask any questions you wanted that I can aim to answer in the video. And I had 2 questions that dominated the questions. And the first one is injury. Everyone wanted to know if I got injured. And it's a good question, because this was one of my main concerns in starting self-defense, is I don't want to get injured to the point that it affects my weightlifting or it affects my body weight training. And to answer this just in a nutshell, did you get injured? Yes, but let me just unpack that a bit more. I believe the benefit to learning how to defend yourself far outweighs the cost of potentially getting injured, because you cannot learn how to defend yourself without being involved in contact in some way, whether you're rolling or sparring or whatever it is. That just comes with the territory. Now, we'll talk about things I did to avoid injury in a moment, but I'll just tell you what my worst injury was. So I had a couple, but the worst injury was my thumb. We were in our gis, and I grabbed their gi with my thumb under and my fingers over. So I had a good grip on his collar here, right? But what I found out was his tactic was to kind of be soft and like lull you to sleep, be relatively calm, and then explode, like really explode. And I had him gripped like that, like I said, thumb under, fingers over. This is important. And where he moved trapped my thumb, because the gi kind of folded over it, and my thumb got stretched down that way, and I felt like all the ligaments within there crackle, and it just didn't feel good. So we finished the roll. My thumb swelled up, it was sore, it really affected my grip, actually. It wasn't good. It wasn't terrible where it needed surgery or anything, but it wasn't good. I couldn't grip or anything like that. And it's been several months since then, and it still affects me. So it's better. I can grip, I have strength in it, I can use it, I can roll, I can grab gis and everything. Even though that was an injury, I take it in my stride, because this can happen with what we're doing. And I learned from it. I learned that I'm not gonna grab a gi thumb under, fingers over now. There might be exceptions where I understand a position, but now I'm grabbing all fingers over. So I learned from that mistake. Now, how do I avoid injuries when I train? That's 1 to 3 sessions, 1 to 4 hours a week. That's enough for a beginner to learn and to improve, but it's also not my full-time training where obviously the more sessions I do, the more exposed I am to potential injury. When I said I focus on learning, I'm learning what positions are good, what positions are bad, and what a position means to me. How at risk am I? So by knowing that, knowing when I'm in an arm bar that I'm very likely not going to be able to escape from, gives me the knowledge to tap before there's any risk of my arm popping and being injured for potentially 8 months, which did happen to me in the past before I did jiu-jitsu. I got arm barred, didn't tap, something popped, 8 months, no planche. Can you imagine? So being mindful and shifting your focus on learning your positions and what's important is extremely valuable at minimizing your risk of injury while you train. And then the second thing, which I think is the absolute most important for either dealing with an injury or for avoiding injury, is just don't roll. Rolling is so fun, and rolling is also where you learn the practicality of the skills that you're learning. And I will always roll at the end of a class, but if you're that worried about that cost benefit and don't want to get injured, then do the technical parts of class and either skip the rolling until you're comfortable, or find someone who will roll with you and understands your concerns and can go gentle on you, because you've got other training that you're focusing on that you can't afford to be injured for. You don't have to roll, and you also don't have to roll a lot. You can roll, say, 1 round, and then you can head out. If there's ever injury that happens, it's from the rolling. So if you exercise control over how often you do it, when you do it, and how intense you do it, then I would say your risk of injury, there's still a risk, but you've really honed in on minimizing your chances. So that's what I would recommend when it comes to injury, and don't let injury be the thing that prevents you from doing jiu-jitsu, because there's lots of things to consider and work around that will minimize the chances of that happening and allow you to share jiu-jitsu with your other loves of physical movement. The second question that I got asked was, second question I got asked the most was, how do I fit this into my other training? How do you do it? Well, I've already told you countless times now, I did jiu-jitsu 1 to 3 times a week. And majority of the training I've done in the last year, aside from jiu-jitsu, has been my bodyweight training, bodyweight strength training, mobility training. And the way that would fit in was I either did 1 session in the morning and the other session in the evening, or I did them on different days. Unless it is the stronger bodyweight workout series or stronger Olympic lifting series, or I was training in Olympic lifting towards a competition, I don't do any physical activity more than 4 times a week. So 3 to 4 times a week. And I was doing jiu-jitsu 3 times a week and my bodyweight training 3 to 4 times a week. So whatever day I had jiu-jitsu, I would very likely just do bodyweight on another day that I didn't have jiu-jitsu, and vice versa. It was as simple as that, really, because when you look at bodyweight training, so what I was doing was a lot of planche work, which can fatigue the shoulders, fatigue the chest, the biceps. There's specificity to it. If I was doing weightlifting, if I was doing a lot of Olympic weightlifting, it would fatigue my legs a lot. But jiu-jitsu is, when you roll, it can be exhausting, but that's it. And the fatigue you get from jiu-jitsu is a general fatigue. Jiu-jitsu isn't specific to any one area of your body. It's just you using your body and trying to utilize the techniques that you've learned. So if I was doing bodyweight training, it wouldn't affect my performance in jiu-jitsu. Or if I was doing my weightlifting training, it wouldn't affect my performance in jiu-jitsu, because one is specific and the jiu-jitsu is general. So it never took away anything from my other movements. So it was easy to always fit into my day or fit into my week, the training for it. And we had one final question asking, what's my favorite submission? So my favorite submission is one that just clicked with me. I've used it many, many times to submit others when rolling. Not a boast again, just when I've got submissions, it's many times been this submission. And that submission is the north-south choke. So I'm sure there's variations on it, but this variation that was shown to me, where you're in side control, you work your knee up under their armpit, reach over their head and underneath and grab their armpit, and then you flatten yourself out to the side for the tap. Love that one. It's worked a lot for me. Now, if anyone rolls with me who's watched this video will know what to look out for. Guys, there's so much to talk about. I feel like I could talk about this kind of stuff for a long time. I probably have, and I'm trying to keep it as articulate as possible. But if there's anything you feel like I've not addressed or something you wanted to know, just comment down below and I'll make sure I answer it for you. If you got something out of the video, give it a like. If you're thinking of trying jiu-jitsu, definitely go and try it. I'm pretty sure how it worked for me, there were so many places where you can just get a free introductory class. So you can go in and just see if that gym's for you, if the vibe is good. Subscribe if you got something out of the video as well. Share it if you think someone else could benefit from it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I might see you for another jiu-jitsu update or a competition later down the track, but I'll see you next Tuesday for another video. Bang!